Sophisticated ignorance. Whew, all right, I'm sweating already, and we haven't even started.
Oh my! Ooh, huh.
That's
TMI.
not supposed to. How's that TMI? It's hot.
We just started. How are you sweating?
Because I told you this already.
It sounds like a lot. Sounds like it's profuse already. I'm uncomfortable.
I don't like your way of the use of the term pursue.
I don't feel safe. This is not a safe space.
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Don't worry. If y'all see beads on my head, just everyone remain calm. Okay. I have water on standby. I have a tissue.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
I am so excited for this episode.
I'm gonna flip a coin to see who's going to annoy me the most. And so far, it's a tie. And I don't like it.
I can't wait.
I don't mind losing.
Wow. All right. Yes, I'm already. See the beads already? Oh, baby.
Oh, again. I'm uncomfortable. Get some powder.
For real.
That part.
All right, we're back.
Welcome back.
Oh, even your ears are sweaty. My God.
It's a lot. It's very hot. Okay. Not the laughter. All right. As I said, this is going to be a very short episode. If this is the type of banter that's going to continue, okay? I opened the window. I should be fine because there's oxygen. Okay. I'm feeling a breeze. That's a good sign.
I don't think that's how science works.
Okay, doctor. All right. Is everyone ready?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Let's begin. Okay.
Stay hydrated, my friend.
Excuse me?
Stay hydrated, my friend.
I am staying hydrated. Thank you so much.
No one likes a thirsty nigga, so.
Hello, everyone listening out there. I'm Vixon J, and welcome to Sophisticated Ignorance.
Hi, guys. I'm Rovie.
We are back. We took a little bit of a break for quality assurance, but now we're back, and hope you guys missed us.
Of course.
I missed you, Rovie.
I missed you more. It is a contest.
You got it. You win.
Let that go on record. I am so glad it's recording. Let that go on record. I am holding this one. Yes.
Today's word is peace, and I'm simply going to lock into peace today on my end. I thought
it was beads.
Excuse me?
I thought the word was beads.
All right.
I'm just unsure. I just want to clarify.
Audience, just to clarify, this might be a very short episode, depending on my patience.
All right.
And so far, every bit of rudeness is going to chop off 10 minutes. So you keep it up, and we're just going to introduce our names, and that's going to be the end of it. Okay?
Okay. All right. I'll comply.
Not comply. Today, we have some guests on the show.
Yay!
So we are going to introduce them. We have a friend of the show coming back to talk with us, and we also have a newcomer, a new friend for the show. So, ladies, please introduce yourselves and tell us your business.
Anyone?
I guess I will start. Hi, everybody. My name is Phylicia, better known as Charmed. I'm a creative director, host, producer, model, the list goes on. I'm a creative, essentially based out here in New York. Recent graduate, shout out to all my fellow class of 2021. And I'm happy to be on the show today, guys.
Love a creative on the show. We love creatives here. We embrace them. Yes, now not a newcomer to the show, but this is a welcome back, so to speak. So please introduce yourself, Miss Shante.
Hi, everybody. It's me, your girl, your friend, everything in between, Shante, founder and lead photographer of Flash Magazine, a digital zine centered around women and femmes, photographer, everything in between.
A creative.
That too.
That seems to be the theme. We're all creative.
Somebody who's trying to get a sleep schedule back, but a woman.
You could create that your own way.
Period.
How do you create a sleep schedule?
You can personalize it, of course. What do you mean? There's some people who are more creative during the day, and there's some people who are more creative during the night. So you gauge your sleep cycle to either sleep in the day or sleep in the night to enhance your creative side. Me, I'm not creative. I'm robotic.
Wow.
I go with schedules all the time.
See, you
But
learn something new every day. You learn something new every day.
Rovie is creative in her own right. Do not listen to her.
oh, that's sweet.
Yes. All right. Anyway, so today we are going to talk about a very special topic. We're going to be talking about women in music. And this particular topic is special because Shante and Phylicia are collaborating on an effort to bring more women in music to light. So I want you two to talk briefly about your collaboration and what you two are working on, and then we get more into the conversation about women in the music industry today.
Yeah, sure. Phylicia and I came together a few months ago and decided that for the month of June for Flash, we would take this time and highlight and feature some amazing women in music that we know of, that we actually know, and just provide a platform for them to showcase their talents, showcase their artistry. And, you know, all of that culminates this weekend, Saturday, June the 12th, with a live event at a secret location in Brooklyn. And we're really excited to just talk about the whole experience and talk about what's to come and what we've learned about women in music and just us in general as a part of taking this project on.
Okay, anything to add, Phylicia, to that explanation?
It's definitely a great opportunity for us to really talk about women who often don't have the platform to get to the audience that they want to reach, you know, especially for me as a creative. I know how hard it is being a woman out here who doesn't have the standard stereotypical career path, you know. So it was a real honor to be able to talk to these women, work with them, highlight them, and show what they're capable of. And like Shante said, we get to all come together this Saturday and celebrate everything that we've put into motion these last couple months.
Okay, that is super dope, and love to hear the concept. You know, for
Love
me, being a videographer, I've worked with a lot of like women artists in the past, and just seeing their creativity and how their work kind of shined, you know, was really special for me. And I'm glad that I've been able to highlight them in the past. So bringing this topic to the forefront, especially now with social media and how women artists are portrayed today, is always a hot topic. You know what I mean? You know, one of the episodes that we had in the past was talking about the incident that happened with Megan Thee Stallion, for example, and how that situation was treated lightheartedly when it was something very serious. The incident when she was shot in the foot by, we don't mention men's names, but you know, I mean, outside of, you know, her talent, but just the example of how, you know, her being a woman artist, for example, she was seen in a different light than other people who might be in a similar situation. But nonetheless, you know, just to kind of start the foundation of the conversation, we can go around. But for right now, just to get a litmus test, who would you say are some of the more prominent women artists that you know, either locally or on a bigger scale, that you either are in tune with or connected with or listening to right
now? For me, I'm a music head at heart. So it's really hard to pinpoint like the people that I'm listening to because it changes on a daily basis. I can go from listening to my throwbacks one day to tapping into some independent artists another. For me, I have been, not gonna lie, tapping into the inner Queens girl inside of me because I am from Southside Jamaica. And so I've been listening to Nicki's mixtape on repeat.
now?
I grew up with that. It came out when I was 14 years old. So it feels very nostalgic to have it available to me again without having to go on YouTube. I've also been listening to a lot of Kiana Taylor. She is my spirit animal. I'm always gonna listen to her. And just a lot of oldies. I've been listening to a lot of old school music lately. I don't know what it is. Something's just in the air lately. But me and a lot of my friends have just been tapping into a lot of like even our parents' generation's music a lot more lately.
Well, shout out to old school ones too. I mean, even it's still prominent, no matter how contemporary they are now. So, who are some of the oldies as
Definitely.
well?
Definitely. For me, I've been loving my Gladys Knight. I've been tapping into her a lot more lately, learning to appreciate her because I didn't really appreciate her as much when I was younger. Definitely tapping into a lot of my old school reggae artists, Nadine Sutherland, Lady Saw before, she dropped her Lady Saw and became, Who Keeps the Marion. Like, I've been listening to, who else have I been listening to? There's a lot of oldies. Wow. I've also been tapping into a lot of like UK artists as well. Lady Leisha is my everything. If you have the chance to go on YouTube and listen to her Queen speech, like just do that. Just binge watch all of them in one sitting.
Gotcha. Who else would like to jump in?
I'll jump in. For me, the greatest part of doing this project was the vision that Phylicia brought over to the team and I, in which we are recreating iconic album covers for each of the 4 web features that we're highlighting this month. So every time I've had to go in and edit images for each artist, I find myself jumping back into that particular artist that they recreated, just so that I can get more of a feel of that artist's personality, what messages they were conveying through that particular album. Our first and most recent cover for this month was an artist, Naika Sings, who is amazing. And we gave her the Janet Jackson Control album. So I've been spending all of my time going back to like old school Janet, just particularly like that Control era. I did some research just to kind of like get a better feel of what Janet was going through at the time. And Janet had like, I guess, emancipated herself from her father, so to speak, kind of in the same way Beyonce kind of like severed ties with her dad, manager wise. She did the same thing with Joe, and just this was like her first foray out on her own. And an album like Control is such a statement making album where it's like, here's who I am, here's what I'm not giving you anymore, but here's all the amazing things that I can give you in exchange for what you may be accustomed to. So I've definitely been on a Janet run. I've been kind of like dipping through the decades, so to speak. Another thing that we do with Flash is we have a Patreon, and every month on the Patreon we have a monthly playlist. So that's my favorite thing about running Flash, the Patreon, and putting the playlist together, because I've been listening to artists I would have never given the time of day to now. So I'm listening to a lot of Rina Sawayama. I'm going back and listening to Evie Queen. I'm giving Cardi B's music another spin. I'm giving Jill Scott another spin, because I feel like listening to Jill Scott as like a tween or teen and listening to Jill now as an adult, it's like, oh, that's why my mom was so enamored with her music. And just things that my mom used to listen to, a lot of ABBA, a lot of Celine Dion, because she's like a West Indian import. So Celine Dion is like
Icon.
heavy
Yes.
on the rotation. So a lot of Celine Dion. I've actually been listening to more podcasts than music at this point, because podcasting really keeps me focused throughout the day. So a bunch of podcasts up and down the line, from Nicole Byers' podcast, Getting Grown, Jaden XD, Sibling Rivalry, Sophisticated Ignorance, like everything in between. So it's a nice little hodgepodge of everything right now.
Okay. Rove, would you like to go?
Of course. I'm like you said, growing up with Celine Dion, a little Whitney, a little Tina Turner. I listened to Adina Howard, Cut Close, Brownstone, a little bit of, yes. Cleopatra was my joint growing up. I'm sorry, I used to love their album. I also listened to Meg Thee Stallion. I Turn It On, Foxy, Cardi B, Chloe Haley, Solange, of course, Beyonce. Actually, whatever my mood is, my eclectic mood, my ratchet mood, my amp up mood, my gym mood, my power mood, it depends on what I want to listen to. I'm kind of naive because I haven't explored anything outside of my bubble. So I will listen to like Caribbean artists like Faye and Lyons, Nadia Boston, Onika Bostic. But outside of that realm, I don't know anybody in the UK or like Ireland or Australia or France. I know there's a lot of French women artists that are coming up. only because of TikTok. Again, ignorance behind it, but I see the names pop up. I'm like, oh, this sound is kind of hitting. And the next thing that's coming up is Afro beats. There are a lot of women Afrobeat singers that I'm unaware of. All I know is where is my Johnny, and that's it.
Yummy
But
all day. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into that more, but then I find myself just refuting back to the same songs that I listen to 10 times in a row. Because
I mean, it's a comfort. It's a comfort.
That's what I do.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, for me, so I'm not extremely musically inclined. I like listening to music, but so when it comes to women artists, like for example, yeah, like contemporary wise, Megan Thee Stallion. I mean, I listen to Nicki and Cardi here and there. Like Georgia Smith, Jasmine Sullivan. You have what other women artists that I like? See, I'm not great with names, so that's a problem. I mean, Sade, like the old school people, like Sade and Jill Scott and Erykah Badu and all these artists that we kind of grew up with. Those are people that I tend to like listening to. And as you said, Shante, it's like a comfort, you know? Like I would rather listen to certain tracks over and over and over from the past than listen to some contemporary stuff now, because it takes you back to a certain place, and you know, it's just familiar. You know, you can sing along with it. I'm pretty sure we've all been in a mood where we are belting at the top of our lungs one of our favorite songs, even if we are not good at singing. So yeah, you know, those are some artists that I kind of tap into myself. But
you're telling me you don't like City Girls?
I don't. That's probably more your department, not mine.
That's very judgmental on your part.
Though Twerkulator
is very judgmental.
So you don't
like City Girls?
I didn't say I don't like City Girls. I'm just saying that I don't frequent their music. As I said, even though Twerkulator is a bop, I will give it that.
Twerkulator is a bop. That is on period.
So when JT says these rich niggas throwing paper, do you just walk away because you don't fit the bill, or?
I don't throw paper. I would probably throw my debit card, but then I have to go back and collect it because I don't carry too much cash on me. That's just a security reason, okay?
It's giving insufficient funds, but we'll let that slide.
Well, you know, that is one person's opinion, and we're just going to keep the conversation going, okay? I will let you know my funds are very sufficient. Thank you so much.
Y'all heard it here. The funds are sufficient. You heard it here. No overdraft fees in this realm.
The electricity is still on, so that's a sign.
That's one joke. I'm not gonna joke anymore. That's one. I needed to give myself one. I'm not gonna joke no more. I promise.
It's fine. We're just letting loose. It's all good. Oh man. So yes. Clearly we all have a healthy mix of like artists from around the world and old school and new school and stuff like that. But I think, you know, kind of setting that foundation, you know, considering that we've been listening to these artists for a long time, what would you say is like the way that the industry has kind of seen these artists in the past and in the present? Do you feel that there is a level of genuine respect for these artists as they're consumed by the industry and by the audience? Or do you feel that across the board, most of these women artists either had to work very hard to get to the level of acclamation that there are now, or it just came very easily from your perspective and opinion?
For me, I think it varies. I think one, it takes a lot of work to get into the music industry, period. You know, I work with a lot of music artists, and so I see that everyday climb, that everyday struggle to get, you know, streams, to get plays, to get videos out there. And it's hard, you know, but once you're a woman, it becomes 10 times harder because there are these boxes that you're expected to fit into. And if you don't fit into those boxes, then it becomes a really difficult task. You know, I look at one of my favorite rappers right now is Chica, and Chica does not get the respect that she deserves as a lyricist, as an artist. But you have, and I'm not going to call out the names, but you have every doll under the sun who gets the streams and gets the plays and gets the attention, who lyrically may not be there or on the same page, but they get the attention. And reason being is there's an aesthetic that women are expected to fit into when trying to get into this industry. It's just sexual, it's it's that type of vibe.
I definitely agree with Fhylicia. I think that the adoration and the respect is definitely conditional. I think unless you have a core group of artists that also support each other, because kind of like in the vein of when Megan posts pictures with Malibu Mitch or City Girls or whomever, that support system is there. But on an outer circle, I remember after the whole WAP debacle, Cardi B was like, the artists that you think that you want me to be like, they're there and they've been there. You just don't listen to them because you don't like the kind of content they're putting out, and you don't enjoy the content they're putting out because it's not sexual or sexualized content that you want to listen to. So you can't chastise me for a song like WAP, and then it's kind of like you're bringing up other women artists in retaliation almost. Like, in my personal opinion, Rhapsody is too far good of a lyricist for her to only be brought up as an antithesis to Cardi B.
Right.
And then not only that,
Agreed.
you can walk and chew gum at the same time. You can enjoy Rhapsody and Cardi B. You can like Little Sims and Ivorian Doll. You can like Nicki Minaj and then turn around and play Queen Latifah. You can do both these things. It's just
Agreed.
it's crazy. It's difficult to me where it's like we can have artists like Ski Mask, and we can have artists like Juice WRLD RIP and um fucking Cardi, like do the exact thing and hold one stage and do multiple festival runs together. But suddenly when three women artists or three women and femme artists do the exact thing, now we have to cut the budget for two of them.
Mhm.
Right.
If
I mean, I think it speaks to the expectations of women overall. We are not allowed to have, femininity and be sexy and still have a masculine side and be a little edgy and be a little rougher around the edges. I love seeing Chica walk down the red carpet in a Nike tracksuit made just for her. Just the same way I love watching Meg Thee Stallion, and if Twerk Later comes on, trust and believe I'm dancing. Like, there's this expectation that women are not allowed to be dichotomous, and it extends past music, past being creative. That's just society. We're always told that we have to choose one or the other.
Right. And the irony is that in the industry, especially when you were talking about Shanté and Fhylicia about like comparing women, it's you'd have the people that's pitting like one artist against the other that has similar sounds, but yet you have 19 little fill in the blanks all sounding the same, and it's like nobody's complaining. You know what I mean?
and it's crazy because you would, I know that in the context that we're speaking about like Black music, so rap and R, not even R&B, but like rap and hip hop and stuff like that. But it's the same thing for pop music. It's the same thing for other genres. Like, look at, I mean, I feel like unless you have like on an arguable talent, nobody does the whole comparison thing, because look at Adele stands on her own. But then look at an artist like Normani, look at an artist like Bree Runway. Bree Runway came out and they were like, well, pack it up, Normani. There's somebody new in town. And it's like, well, why can't they coexist? It's kind of like in the same vein too, just now that we're talking about Normani, where Normani goes above and beyond. There's no argument that Normani is like a pop artist, right? But then comes the comparison about, oh, she's the next Beyonce. And now here comes this ridiculous pressure that that comes with being a woman artist, and namely being a Black woman artist. Because
Right.
and now I'm on the soapbox now, because like the big three, the big three in pop for the most part is Nicki, Rihanna, Beyonce, at least for Black artists. And it's like with those three artists standing that high, there are opportunities for fans to allow the table to be extended. But I feel like as music fans, and that's why I say the support is conditional. With music fans, there isn't really that opportunity given for the fans to expand the table. Right. Where it's these three, you can't sit at this table.
Exactly. And even when they try to craft another table, it's like, but you're never going to be that table. You're never going to be the top table. So what are you trying to do? What do you think you're doing? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's no access to entry. And considering that, different artists have different sounds and stuff like that, kind of speaking about comparison, because I know, like, for example, I used to work with this artist closely, and there was, I don't know if you guys, I mean, in the past, like you guys have probably been to like music showcases where you'd have like a lineup of artists and stuff like that, a mix of like bands and individuals. But the soul crushing part was that my friend was extremely talented. She could sing, like sing. She was really, really good. Is still really good. I haven't heard her in a while, but there would be times where she would be included into like a music showcase, and what would unfortunately happen is that the way the lineup would be set up is that you'd have all these dudes come out and do their wild rap shit on the stage, whatever. And then by the time I don't know how the lineup is set up, but there was one time I remember that she went on dead last. And at that point, when you're going to these type of events, people are just showing up for their people, and then after that, they bounce. So literally at the end, it was me and like probably 3-4 people in the audience. And it sucks because she didn't get the proper recognition that I feel like she deserved. I mean, nobody did, because unfortunately, it's just the way that these type of showcases are. Once again, people show up for their people, 5-minute set, and then everybody leaves. So unfortunately, she went last, and I was there to support her. But I just feel like, for those who do get a chance to hear her, for example, she was kind of boxed into like the R&B hook girl. And that was kind of crushing, because it's like, she's so talented. Like she should be more than just, oh, yo, you sound mad dope. Can you sing my hook? And then, they either spell her name wrong or she doesn't get credit properly. So in that regard, I guess a question for me is, because I hear a lot about, women artists and men artists being compared like directly, right? So my question is, should there be a form of comparison when it comes to that? Is it harmful? Is it supposed to be, I guess, commendable or seen as flattering? Or should it be like, all right, nah, men artists this way, women artists this way, and none should be, I guess, mixed together? Because when you talk about like, yo, who's the top artist, most of the list is usually, have male artists 1, 2, and 3. Right. And they're never going to toss in a woman artist in that list, because it's like, yo, in the standard of men rapping versus women rapping, is like, these are the top men, and then women are in their own circle. Should those categories be more, I guess, intermixed, or should it be like, men, y'all got y'all list, but women, we have their own list?
I think it should be, they should intersect, but listening to you ask your question and come to asking the question, I thought about Lauryn Hill talked about when she was with the Fugees, and they did a group interview together, and they asked, the interviewer asked Pras and Wyclef about the whole process of structuring the album, what production inspiration they gathered for the album, who their favorite person to collaborate on the album was, and then asked Lauryn Hill what her favorite lip gloss shade was. And she talked about how disrespectful that was, because in my opinion, there's no Fugees without Lauryn Hill.
Mood.
There's no Fugees without Lauryn, and it's not a matter, period. It isn't a matter of there being an issue with artists being separated by their gender. We have to take a closer look at how we view women, period. If we're still viewing women as inferior and docile, there are still going to be those questions where, where they're asking about more cosmetic, vain / vanity type questions. Even currently, I remember there was on Twitter, there was this debate, so to speak, where Meg Thee Stallion went on Tim Westwood. That's a different story for a different day about Tim fucking Westwood. But she went on Tim Westwood, and Tim Westwood asked her what style of weave she had in. And for further context, for those of you who don't know Tim Westwood is like a Don Gargan in UK urban music, but Tim Westwood is a white man. So the optics of a white man asking a black woman what kind of hair she got in assuming it's not hers, not only is it a microaggression, but it also again speaks to how we view women, because there's no way that you can interview somebody like a Meek Mill, or give me another really popular rapper right now, or a J. Cole, or whomever, any rapper that's a man, period, and be like, nice hair plugs, bro. Who's your connect?
Yes.
No, for real,
Absolutely.
it's true. I think because it's like when I think about the question, it's like immediately my mind goes to the freshman class of like XXL magazine, and like how anytime they release the class, it's always that token woman.
Right.
It's always that one woman, and it's like there's way more talented lyricists out here. You know, like I personally am tired of it being a case where women rappers over here and they're compared to one another, and then men rappers over here and compared to one another. Because let's be real, Nicki killed every other verse on Monster. Her verse was the best on the song. And she's the only woman on the song, but she killed every dude who surrounded her.
To this day.
To this day. And it's sad because a lyricist is a lyricist, no matter the gender, no matter the background, whatever it is. You crafted this genius verse, this genius bars, and the fact that gets minimized because you were born a woman is sad. When a lot of these women really put time in. Like I work with a lot of female rappers and a lot of female artists who put sometimes way more work in than the male artists that I work with. And like you said, I go to these showcases as well, and it's always so sad the way these organizers work, where they'll place them at the end. And I don't know if it's on purpose. I don't know if they're just not being mindful. But even when I organize a show, you know, I always make sure that I'm organizing the artist by sound. What is the best way these sounds are going to flow into each other to keep the energy in the room going? Not by, okay, this person has 10 people. Let me put them earlier in the show. This person's only bringing like 2 people. I'm going to put them later on. Like, no, like there's a craft to crafting a show and a sound. You want to make sure you're starting energy high. Keep the energy a little simmered down during the middle and then bring it right back up. It's not based on gender. It's not based on talent. Like, especially for these showcases, like your goal is to highlight talent, but you're not giving your due, effort in doing that. You're half-assing it, quite frankly, and it's a disservice to these artists who really take the time to promote your show, where oftentimes they're not getting paid. That's a whole nother issue. Pay your artists, please. And you're not giving them the time they deserve. It's true. Even on Mondays, I host the open mic in Bushwick at Star Bar, and I love that our lineup is random. It's not. It's first come, first serve. Whoever signs up first is who goes. We're not sitting there being like, well, I see you got 2 people in the audience, so I'm gonna put you earlier in the show. Like, at the end of the day, it's time we stop comparing people's talent based on these completely irrelevant factors like gender and race and background and all these things, and just compare talent for what talent is.
I also think too, when we deep it further on the intersections, we tend to pigeonhole a lot of artists who aren't cishet either. So like, and I know that we're talking about the realm of rap right now, but there are queer femme artists, there are trans women artists, we don't even have to go that far. Look at how they do Young M.A.
Right.
Hello.
Look at how they do Young M.A. Look at how they do. Right. Look at how they do Mickey Blanco, who is an amazing artist in my opinion. Look at how they could do someone like Dayburger or Kicks the Killer, who are 2 really, really dope artists, but I only hear about them or see them in the realm like with Pride Month, if that makes any sense. Yeah. Or even taking it further, where there are hijabi rappers or hijabi artists, period, who feel like they have to center their entire artistry and content around their hijab.
Right.
Exactly. It's true. Young M.A. is one of the most fire lyricists I've heard. Proud to be from the same city as her. Like, and it sucks because she had this time where I was like, all right, she had that one hit single and then it was like she kind of rode that wave for a while, and then it was like, all right, cool, we're done. It's like that tokenism of just women rappers, women artists, just is ridiculous. You know, I even look at an artist like her. Her does not, like, as much credit as people give her, they don't give her the credit she truly deserves as an artist. You know, they box her into, okay, she's now this motivational, you know, social justice singer. Cool, that's it. But she's so much more than that, you know. And like Vixen, you even mentioned one of my favorites, who to me has one of the most ridiculous stories in the game, is Jasmine Sullivan.
Mhm.
Jasmine Sullivan is one of the best vocalists to me out here in the game right now. Why does she keep having these spurts of moments where she gains popularity and then winds back and then comes back and is like, no, give this woman her flowers while she's here. Because knock on wood, in 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, when we start losing these artists in our generation, we're going to be like, oh my God, RIP, they were so fire, but you wasn't streaming their music, but you weren't buying their albums, you weren't attending their shows. Have these artists been doing free shows all throughout the pandemic? Did y'all go log on and stream them? No. But y'all talking about y'all missed going outside when there was opportunities for y'all to still enjoy yourselves right here at home with fire talent.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's a different conversation for a different day.
That part.
Yes, and we are going to touch briefly on like local talent as well, because I think that's especially, you know, as I said, that example of like these type of local showcases where you are highlighting a different array of talent, how local talent, you know, does have to work hard and does have to work like extra to kind of get a name. Like for example, for me, some like one local talent artist, well, local, I don't know. I'm using the term local in the sense of like, you know, accessibility. Like I know her, I've met her before.
Tri-City area.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you guys know of Latasha, right? Yo, seeing Latasha's growth as far as I've known her is amazing, because she went from, you know, she went from like those type of like showcases where, you know, she'd be on a lineup to now like she's getting featured in movies and her songs are being featured and being shout out by others. And I seen her, like witness her put in that work. You know what I'm saying? And that's just one example of, you know, that the type of recognition that isn't recognized is like you only see people from the front facing of it, but you don't recognize like it took a lot of like struggle and hustle and all these things to get to where they are now, right? And even with all that, sometimes they don't get the recognition they deserve. So it's, you know, as a woman artist, I can only imagine that there's just like an extra amount of pressure that's applied because of those things. Because once again, you know, in the sense of the aesthetic, we're only seeing like either the sex appeal or just like, oh yeah, this person, you know, is really outspoken or does all this and whatever, but we're not really looking behind the scenes. So that actually kind of goes into the next question, talking about, I guess, the behind the scene aspects of the industry. Like, I guess, Fhylicia, you have a little bit more of an insight on this, but how do you see, or how would you describe the industry for women that kind of involves like the behind the scenes, whether it's producing or managing or all these things? Like, for example, we know like producers like Timbaland and all these people are being highlighted. But first of all, Missy Elliott is the GOAT of producers, not even women producers, period. End of sentence, next, you know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, why aren't we hearing more about these type of talents when it comes to the music industry, and how can we kind of put them more to light?
It's as simple as this industry ain't shit.
I mean, mood.
Quite frankly, because Missy Elliott, like you said, is the GOAT when it comes to producing. There are, you know, like for me, I'm a director. I direct music videos. Most of the people that I look up to as a music video director are women. You know, I look at Melina. I can never say her last name, so I'm sorry, Melina. Forgive me. But Melina Masuga, she is one of the most fire music video directors. Did the whole Lemonade project, and people don't even give her flowers for this. You know, everyone is like, yeah, Beyonce and Lemonade. what about the team behind her? You know, and it's sad, but the industry is not cut out for women to be the best versions of themselves behind the scenes. You know, even for me as a director, like it is hard booking, you know, gigs as a director, as a producer to work with these artists because they're like, they see you and they're like, they just don't trust your talent, you know, but they'll go to a guy whose prices may be more expensive than mine, but their quality ain't as good as mine, and pay them top dollar. And I'll be sitting there like, now I wonder why your music video is only getting 100 views, but the last music video I put out is already at 3,000. But that's another story. You know, I just think in this industry there isn't a respect for women's talent. Period. Like whether you're
But
a
why is
director,
that? Why is that? There's not a
I don't know
platform
what it is.
for women to showcase themselves behind the scenes, because again, a lot of people, they just run to social media and whatever's hot at the moment, that's what they're going to go into, and then look at it, and then after a while they forget who it is. Because again, just not to sound ignorant, only Missy Elliott is a lot of what people would refer to as being a producer. There's no way that even like young girls could look up and say, hey, I want to take this career path. Who do I look up to? There's nobody else for them to see themselves in today's society. And that's something that needs to be showcased. And I don't understand why that is a problem, since everything is out there on social media. Look at Gorilla Glue. The next 5-year-old could quote the songs from that, but they can't tell you who did this behind the scenes, or who was the makeup artist, or who was the studio executive, or anything like that in that regard. So why is there like a discord between that?
I'll tell you why. It's kind of like the argument when people are like, oh, there's no good music out here. You're just not looking in the right places, or you're not looking, period. So for me as a photographer, I would say that I've been spoiled by my clientele. And I think I've been spoiled by my clientele because I do a very good job at putting out the kind of vision that you would want to have. It's a vision where across your intersections, there is a platform for me to show you in the ways in which you deserve to be shown. And I recognize that me doing that kind of work as a photographer, it's not an everyday thing. I've had clients who have come to me anticipating one particular vision that we agree on, and then we'll turn around and say, well, why don't I look like the girls on Instagram? Why don't I look like this, that, and the third? Despite reaching out to me, knowing what kind of work I'm doing and knowing the kind of vision that I can provide. Can I do that Instagram trendy look? Absolutely. But that's not what you came to me to do. And that's why I say I've been spoiled by my clientele, because the clients that flock to me to get their pictures done, they value authenticity. And I'm not saying that there's no authenticity found on social media. It's just that as an artist, I've had to kind of take a step back from performing my artistry, because I'm working in a space where everything is so microwave ready, where it's where, it's we joke about like the meme calendars, where it's like, oh, last year January was the Murder Hornets, February was something else, whatever. But in the same vein, as an artist, and I think this goes for artists across the board, no matter what your particular industry of creativity is in, it's always important to take a step back from the algorithms and from the machine, and realize, who am I really doing this for? Is the artwork that I'm doing, is it performative, or is it authentic? And and then from there, once you remind yourself of your purpose for doing what you do, and you jump back into the algorithms and perform that, people will find you. It's just that everybody is more concerned with engagement, and I get it, because now we're in an industry where engagement brings checks. But would you rather a check quarterly, or would you rather a check weekly? And I think that that's the difference between, really doing the work and finding those people who are behind the scenes that can give you the mentorship that you want and that you need, versus kind of just like thumbing through your Explore page, or thumbing through your through your home timeline, and seeing things that are not that are not conducive for you in the long run. Because yeah, I can go through the drive-through right now and eat whatever insert fast food here. Is it going to be good? Yeah. Am I going to enjoy it after I've consumed it? Not really, because it's gonna have a bad feeling through my body. Versus if I cook something at home, it may take a little bit longer, but it's going to be more enjoyable after the fact because I took my time with it.
Right.
I didn't just
Right.
go look out of convenience, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, and I'm about to hold myself accountable as well. So excuse me. As much as yes, part of the problem is people not looking. I gotta talk to my women real quick. We need to put ourselves out there more. Quite frankly, like I know I am definitely at the top of my own list of not doing this as much, of promoting myself the way I should. Because let's be real, these dudes are out here posting everyday videos with their whole math crew behind them, you know, doing the work. And oftentimes we are not on that same kind of time. You know, we're struggling with imposter syndrome. We're struggling with self-doubt. We're struggling with not believing we deserve to be and own these spaces. And we do. And it's time that, like, yes, we need to, like, pray and hope that people will come to us. But it's time, like, you know, someone said it the other day and was like, you can't be mad if no one's talking about you in a room if you didn't even show up, you know? And at the end of the day, it's great to be like, yeah, come find my page, come check my hashtag, come look for me on the Explore page. But are you making sure that you're on the Explore page? Are you making sure that people can find your hashtag? Like, are you equally holding yourself as accountable as you're holding everyone else accountable for finding you? Are you holding yourself accountable for being found? You know, and I know me, I got to do better at this. I don't put my work out there as much. Shout out to Shante for being on my ass and making sure I do this more, you know, but I really need my fellow women and my fellow women creators, especially us in the music industry who work with these artists behind the scenes. When you shoot a music video, make sure you take your behind the scenes footage. Make sure you are posting this. Make sure you are letting people know what you're working on. Make sure you're letting people know what your process looks like. Make sure people know your prices. Like, make sure people know, hey, I do this and I do this well. And if you give me the opportunity, I can show you how well I can do this.
And tag your BTS creators too.
That part.
Rovie
Tag
asked
everybody.
Rovie asked the question of how come like we're not finding mentorship for people behind the scenes, and it's because if you are an artist, if you are the face of your artistry and you do a bomb ass shoot, it's getting better now because people are holding artists' feet to the fire. But before it would just be a caption and then you leave. So now it's a great picture, but we don't know who was lighting assistant. We don't know who shot it. We don't know who did your hair. We don't know who styled you. So it wasn't until people were like, hey, tag your, well, at least from my experience, the biggest hashtag I was seeing at a certain point was tag your photographer.
Right.
But now for me, it's not just tag your photographer. Tag creative direction. Tag the styling team. Yeah, your caption might be 80,000 pages long, but people know who did what. And now if I am, 14-year-old Shante who's really into photography and who's really into video directing, and now have an Instagram, and now I see that, okay, insert director here did
right.
Now there is more of a direct opportunity for me to not only engage with this person through following them, but now if they have their email address or the opportunity to open their DMs to people, I can DM this person and go from, hey, I'm a really big fan of your work, to, hey, I'm a really big fan of your work, what advice do you have? Or I could even shoot my shot and be like, hey, big fan of your work, how can I get on?
Exactly. Because honestly, there's a lot of these kids out here who don't even know these career paths exist.
Oh, what they want to do, right?
What they want to do. I didn't know being a creative director was a thing. For a really long time, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a politician. I'm going to be a lawyer. And then I was like, but no, that doesn't make me happy. And then it wasn't until I started taking like marketing classes that I was like, okay, marketing is a thing. But it took so much time just to get to this place of being like, okay, now I know. I wish I had at 13, 12 years old an Instagram where I could scroll through being bored and look through in someone's caption and see, oh, creative direction, what's that about? Like, and Google it and figure it out. You know, like a lot of these kids don't know these paths exist, but they're not gonna know if we don't show them what it means to be in this industry.
Right.
And do it and find out that they're actually good at it. You know, I only say that because I know that there's a lot of impressionable youths out there. And the last thing that I've heard many moons ago about having like the Lilith Fair or all-female rock band, those things have dissipated throughout times. So we don't have that continuity of keeping people or keeping kids interested in what's going on to keep that going, because the Lilith Fair and having all-female bands, those were some strong pivotal moments where we could have pushed forward and rocket through and have a strong content, behind the scenes content, performer content, having respect, dismantling gender roles. So I say that because I know that now TikTok, IG, everything on social media is where basically everyone gets their news. So if they can just click at it and have it in the access of their hands, that may be something to look into. So, you know, they can be more female producers that people can just name off the top of their head.
You just unlocked a memory that I thought I had buried so deep inside.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, repressed memories. Pull it back.
No, you mentioned the Lilith Fair, and I was like, damn, the fucking Lilith Fair, because Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill, I think, just turned 25. So now it's like, woof, bitches, we old. But not only that, but I remember like VH1 used to have like exclusive like,
women, right?
content of the Lilith Fair. So like, yeah, you were watching Sarah McLachlan like preparing herself like behind the scenes, but you were also like looking at her hairstylist. You were looking at whoever the event producers were, so that you would see the rosters of like who was performing, like who was opening, who was
not only that, they had the whole crew was female. The whole crew. Musicians, honestly, artists, everybody.
Mm-hmm. That's what and it's crazy because like me and Shante, we had a moment when we were even shooting on the, for the magazine feature this month, and we stopped and we looked around and we was like, we have an entire female crew on set right now. And from hairstylist to makeup artist to photographer, director, everybody on set was female. And it was like, that's why for me, even when I'm on set and I am directing, people think I'm being annoying, but I will direct my behind the scenes photographer. I will tell them, make sure you do a little interview with the makeup artist, make sure you do a little interview with the hairstylist, make sure everyone has content. Even like one of the makeup artists that I work with a lot, shout out to Abby, like for always holding my face down. Like anytime she comes over and I'm doing a shoot and she's doing my face, the first thing I do is I'll set up my phone on my tripod and just have it recording, or I'll have like my boyfriend who's a photographer just come in and just shoot around while we're getting ready. Like, because at the end of the day, we all need to be showing what we do. We all need to be putting that energy out there.
I think the most important thing that you're all saying is that you're curating that space, right? It's not like, oh, hey, whoever's available, come. We just need to get work done. You're specifically like picking out the people that have skill, talent, and you're creating this organic space where it's like, all right, as women, as femmes, we could come together, we could create some dope shit, we could show off what we do and highlight everybody. Everyone gets their moment of shine, because you get so used to, especially in the music industry, it's always the concept of like the artist is kind of like the face of everything, right? And no one understands that there's more to the artist than just, all right, their physical appearance or just like their basic talent. Like there's so much people that are behind that artist that are very much involved in getting them where they need to be. So I think it's really important that you are curating it. It's not just like coming to you, like you're picking out these certain people and you're making sure that, all right, everything that we do here, in a sense of a shoot or a music video or whatever the case may be, everyone gets their shine, everyone gets their moment, and we're all coming together to create this dope product. And that is something that needs to be happening more often than not. You know what I mean? And I think that's something that's really important. And to the point of like younger girls being able to look up to these types of different roles and stuff like that. It's not it's not as easy as trying to apply for ASA and thinking, okay, well, let me just see what's around. Like, you really have to be in tuned with the industry and do your research and stuff like that. Like, for example, I remember like back in the day, like outside of music showcases, there used to be a lot of panels, right? Like, bring back like a good panel of like women that are behind the scenes. And I remember I went to one a while ago, and there was this young lady who was talking about the music industry and her position there and what she had to do. And it's just like, I think we need more panel style conversations that are intentionally catered to like younger women or young girls, so they can kind of see and hear, as Rovie said, like receive these different people talking about the industry and get them excited. So however that needs to be, created or presented, I think we have to create those opportunities instead of expecting kids to like just automatically think, oh, okay, well, this is something they should be interested in. Why aren't
I feel
they,
like in the same vein of kids too, I feel like as elders, because whatever, we're elders. Just most
Speak for
people now.
yourself.
older than?
Yeah, you are.
I am
city
26
girl.
years old. I
Well,
rebuke
We don't use the O word around here. It's called a slur.
Fig news flat, okay?
I
Fig
am
news.
26.
But anyway, I also feel like for our kids, we also should stop being in the business of projecting onto them. So I know for me as a photographer, it took a lot of people in my family a really long time to kind of get around the idea of, oh, she's not listening to us. She's really going to be a photographer and stick with this. Okay, so I guess we just got to join the train now. And I personally feel, and this is just me speaking for myself, right? I personally feel that if I had more support from family, that I don't think I would have had as much self-doubt as I did in the beginning. I mean, I think that my situation isn't as unique because I'm first-gen American. My parents are from the Caribbean. Like, it's that, oh, well, we didn't come to this country for you to be a photographer, or we didn't come, blah, 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 blah. But in the same vein, I feel like if we're seeing our kids taking a deep, authentic interest in something, even though it may not be a typical career path that we would go on, that's not our job to deter our kids from seeing what's down that path. Even if you don't think it might work for them, at least give them the opportunity to fall down, so that way they can say, you know what, I tried it, I fell, let's move on.
Right.
I think they're saying the same story that I had, because no, for real, first generation Caribbean, there was 3 things that I wanted to do. It was be a soca artist, right?
Yes!
Respectfully,
I wanted to do soca rap so bad. All right.
Why
2,
can't you
I
still
wanted
do
to
it?
run. Stop it.
Don't
I
do
wanted
it.
to run. Stop.
You still got time.
I'm rooting for you, friend.
Oh my
Please.
God.
for
I
real.
wanted to run track
Yeah.
and I wanted to be a doctor, right?
Okay.
So I told my parents those 3 things that I really wanted to do. They weren't interested in hearing anything about the soca artistry, because they're like, what does an 8-year-old know about being a soca artist? But I felt like I had so much creative juices in me at that time, and I still do. I suppressed it a lot because of my profession now, but I wanted to reach out. That's why I say I like Faye and I like Nadia Boston now, Patrice. I feel like I could have been one of those. I feel like I could have.
We manifesting Rovie Rhythm 2022.
Okay? No.
Exactly.
2022.
But because of that, because I didn't have that support, even my cousins would tease me. What are you talking about? I used to be talking about just literal garbage that people love singing about right now, right? But we didn't have anybody to foster that growth, that creative growth. Like, hey, we brought you here. You're going to school, you're getting all A's, and this is what you're going to do. There's nothing creative about singing songs. You're not going to make money. Money's a big thing. And you're not going to survive in the world doing that.
make no sense, because how is it that I'm not going to be able to make money as a soca artist, but I just saw you at the casino Labor Day to go to Bungee Garland, so who is not making money?
As if you wasn't playing the top 10 on CIN network every night.
As if you weren't pre-gaming with Auntie so and so and cousin and cousin Patsy to go and lime at somebody's bar playing the
thank you.
You don't want me to make. So what
there's no creative support system behind that. If you don't, I feel like if you don't know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, they won't even support you.
But it's funny because even when you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, and I hear my accent coming out, so y'all trigger that. I believe
it's fine.
I'm still
like even if you do know someone who knows someone, there's still a drawback because behind the scenes, the family will talk mad shit about that person and what they're doing. Like I personally tell my mom all the time, she created the monster that I am as a creative and as a director.
My mom too.
She put me, like, we used to stay up Friday nights playing Scrabble, watching CIN, and listening to the countdown. There's a reason I know every word to Beanie Man songs. That's not my fault. Like, she used to put me in every creative program, dance school, music class, singing this, doing this, and encouraging me to express myself, encouraging me to be this person. So when I came out and I was like, yeah, Mom, I'm going to be a director. I'm changing my major. I don't want to study political science anymore. I want to study marketing. I want to study communications. She looks at me, she's like, is there not some kind of, like, to this day, I just graduated with a whole degree and my mother still asks me, don't you need like a special certificate to be walking around calling yourself a director? And I'm like, no, I direct. Therefore, I am a director. Like,
period.
You know, but it's like you encouraged me to do these things. When I was in high school and my English teacher was like, okay, guys, for your final senior project, you got to make a short film. And my mom is like, yeah, sure. All your friends can come over and shoot the film here. Okay, what do you expect for me to not hold on to memories like that? Like, I literally found my very first director's book the other day from high school that I did not want to be a director at the time. I was convinced I was a senator. Like, that was the task. But it's like they encourage these creative juices in us, but don't even realize, like, you're creating the monster, but then you want to tell us not to live in that truth.
I always said that my mom was like the rogue person in the family, right? So like my mom like had always preached, like, you know, go to school, finish school, whatever. But then when she saw the whole photography thing, I remember I graduated high school and my graduation gift was my first big girl camera, and it was and then I guess when people had found out I was going to school for photography, it was like, okay, fun. But then I remember my mom was like, you know, don't ever let anyone tell you that you can't do anything. And that's been the mantra I've taken with me. So even when it came to me and my father, we used to go like toe to toe. And he used to be like, why can't you just be a nurse? And I was like, me? You ever see me around blood? You ever see me around children? I can't be no nurse. Are you nuts? And so I was like, listen, if I'm going to be on this journey as an artist, and I have to be by myself, that's what it's going to have to be, because I can't force you to see what I'm seeing. And now my father asked me about photo jobs and he asked me about Flash. So it took, I don't know if it took time for him to understand what's going on, more so than it had to take more time for him to be like, she's doing her own thing. She's not going to listen to me.
I think that's really what it is you have to, once they start seeing you're not budging, they realize it's either you get on the train or the train will leave you. Like, that's really it. You know, that's why I love working with music artists and creatives out here, because it's like, for me, I've discovered that my life purpose is to help people see. Whether it's see their truth, see their path, see their vision, see their manifestation, whatever it is, I want to help people see. And it's like, I love helping them see that, you know what, despite what my family says, I can be a rapper. Despite what my family says, I don't have to fall in this box of being a teacher, a nurse, you know, and that there are people out there who that is their passion, but it's not mine. and seeing that they have a space for themselves as a creative, as a music artist out here in these streets. Like, we are not living in the world that our parents lived in, where they had to choose jobs for survival.
Yep.
We are now in a world where we can choose our job and our career solely based on our passion. And if you put the work into the passion, the money's gonna follow, So I'm not.
The money also follows when strangers big up your work too.
Do you know what's so crazy? I have to tell my friends who are, just beginning their own personal project or businesses all the time. The people who you won't think are gonna break your heart will absolutely break your fucking heart when it comes to support. If you have friends and family off rip who openly support your stuff, then kudos to you. But I feel like for any business person, the first heartbreak and the first hurdle to getting you where you need to be is understanding that people who you think will support you won't, and you just have to be okay with that. If you
told me that the other day.
Listen, okay, because if you spend your entire time focusing on who's not supporting you, nothing will ever get done. And if after you put a project together and you spend your time on who came and who didn't come, that just takes away from all the work you put in. You did 6 months of a project, or you did a full year for a project, and you put it out on the internet, or you have a showing for it, and you're not even concerned about who showed up. You're concerned about who didn't come. Why do you care who didn't show up?
Right.
50, if it's an event for like 75 people max, and 73 people came, and you pressed on the 2 people that didn't show up. It's 73 plus 275. I went to art school, y'all. Give me a second. It is. I didn't show up. Your priorities are in the wrong place.
Right.
Don't worry about who's not showing up for you. Worry about who's here right now.
But you see, in today, everybody's worried about who's there and what kind of people are there showing up. That's the problem. We are so focused on what it is so we can show how great we are instead of feeling how great we really are. It's all about the facade and showing off. And of course, again, social media, what can we put on IG? Again, to tag who's there and not who's behind the scenes. You see, it's kind of like, it doesn't make sense. I know, I'm trying to make it make sense, but it's not making sense. It's not making sense to me. Once I figure it out, I'll let you know, but it doesn't make sense to me.
Listen, I'm still on board for Rovie Rhythm 2022, whatever.
Amen. I'm ready to fly out.
Whoever we got.
I need a producer.
You need to stop.
Engineer, engineer, photographer, behind the scenes, creative design, makeup,
you have all our authority.
You need to stop talking less speak and more fet. You hear me? Okay.
I like that. I
want a song where I can just take off a piece of clothes and fling it like a helicopter.
Just one time. Listen, I'm ready to fly out.
Take off your mask and swing around.
Oh my God.
So if you don't want to partake in Miami Carnival with your song next year, you have a whole carnival year next year. You have London, Canada, Barbados.
You're right. It's about to blow up because they're ready for anything at this point.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I already got the music video vision in my head.
I can find you. I could find you a songwriter. We could find you a styling team. Like, we could find you whatever it is you need. You could make a song. The beauty about soca music is that you can make a song about anything. You can make it about taking
just take 3 words and loop it around. And put a little pad. Oh, baby.
All you need is one wind down low or one wave your rag, and you got a hit.
That's it. Listen, all I'm seeing is an overwater bungalow video. We gonna make this happen. Like,
sell it to me. Yes, I love it all. Give it all to me.
Let's combine and let's make it happen, y'all.
Okay? I'm ready.
Women in music, okay? If a man can sing Gunman in She-Hole, you could sing anything, okay?
Exactly.
Period.
Exactly.
Literally.
Exactly.
Yes.
Gosh. Yes. Well, we will talk more about that and set that up for 2021, 2022, huh? But
Yes, I'm
anyway.
ready.
Love it.
So, first of all, I just want to thank you two for joining us today. Great conversation. Love having you on. And this was just a good conversation in general, just about I think my takeaways from all this is a matter of women in the industry, music, creative, regardless, just being able to showcase themselves, put themselves out there more, respect themselves, and not necessarily lean on, those that they feel are needed to show them that support. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if the support doesn't start from within, then, you're never going to build that genuine support from the outside. So I think just kind of staying along with that train of thought is definitely going to push, everybody in the industry, whether behind the scenes or forefront or on the forefront, to kind of push into the future, especially now with, once again, social media and all these we have so much platforms that we could tap into. We have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have all these things. So, the barrier to entry is not as rough as it used to be. We just have to really put in that work, and, everybody out here will have a chance to shine. So I think that's really important. So, yes, let the audience know where we can find you two and your work online so we could big y'all up.
Yes, let's.
You can find Phylicia and I on Saturday, June 12th at the Women in Music event. I'm sure the SI team will put the link in bio in the description. You can find Flash on Instagram, FlashZine, theflashzine.com, patreon.com/flashzine. Join a tier, get some fun exclusive content. And that's where you can find us. Where can we find you, Phylicia?
Y'all can find me floating on a cloud. No, I'm joking. You can find me on Instagram at CHVRMD Charmed. Hit me up, slide in my DMs. I'm here to work. I'm here to direct and work with everybody. I am working on a lot of things to come. Flash and this partnership was the kickstart that I needed to get some things going. So stay tuned. There is more to come.
I'm tuning in.
Dizzy dope.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, but before we forget, we got so caught up in conversation that we forgot the most integral part of this month. What we're going to be starting from next week, along with our web features, we're also doing Instagram live interviews with other women artists, which I'm really excited about. So we'll have website features with one set of women artists, and then we'll have Instagram live features with another set of artists. And the first of that series starts this Wednesday, but I won't tell you who.
Okay. I was gonna say you're gonna shout out some of them, but I'll come in. Gotta tune in. I'm tuning in.
We might have already shouted them out. We might not have. The world may never know. Ooh.
The world may never know.
Just make sure Rovie Rhythm's there.
Okay.
Listen, look out for the Women in Music in issue 2022 featuring Rovie Rhythm one time.
If that's the official name, oh baby, I'm big hype.
Listen, that's it. Rovie Rhythm, that's it.
I am in the audience screaming at a sonic.
You're not allowed to come. You are not allowed to come, okay? The first person on the list that has no entry, that's my first song actually, no entry, is...
No entry.
Didn't we just talk about who's showing up for you and who's not showing up? You don't want me to show up?
Entry, no.
Listen, I already figured out track number 1 is no entry, track number 2 is Ride Like a Rover.
Wow.
Okay?
All right.
Listen, we're out here.
Not the track list.
Listen, it's gonna be an EP. Track number 1 is no entry. Track number 2 is not gonna be what you call it?
It's gotta be Ride Like a Rover.
No, it's gonna be no. It's gonna be Range Rovie. Period.
Range Rovie.
Period.
I love it all of it.
I already got the
Eat it, Vixon. Eat it.
Before I supported this, but now that I can't get in, I don't like this at all.
I will put you in. You know we sneak in through the back anyway.
Oh my
You know that's how we
God. I can see it now. Dancers in the back, she gonna be like, take me low.
Yo,
She's gonna bring some man up and
ride like a rover, ride like a rover, ride
I
like
would say that I will pull the fire alarm, but then it's just gonna get wet.
It's gonna be an outdoor event because it's gonna be COVID and it's gonna be after quarantine and there's gonna be a lot of health precautions. So it'll be an outdoor event.
Oh, now you're on board.
Listen,
Now we're changing professions.
listen, whenever you're ready, just say the word.
I'm
you got a
ready.
photographer and creative director in-house. Just say the word.
in-house, I'm ready.
I'm
I've
here
been
for
dying
it.
to have a soca client, so let's go. Let's
do it.
Wowzer. And if you're nice to me, Rovie, I might lend my camera for video purposes. Okay, I will have to be there. I will be there.
Len, your camera's my camera.
Nope, don't do that. No, don't do that either. Please stop doing that.
Double hands.
Nope, we're not doing this. Nope, we're done. All right, thank you all so much. See,
and that's all. Marshall had a little gem.
And
That's it.
an appropriate time to end this conversation because the slander is coming three ways. I don't like it. But no, yes, please follow Flash. Please follow, Shante and Phylicia, and stay tuned for the events that are happening this month. I have one more question. Is the event on the 12th? For those listening, this is particularly for people in the NYC area. So for those outside the NYC area, is there going to be a live stream to this, or is it just going to be a local performance or local event?
Local performance, but lots of drinks, lots of yummy food. So come on down.
Word. But I mean, if y'all want to see the performances, I'm just saying y'all need to go get your Patreon tiers because we may or may not drop them performances on Patreon.
Okay, all right. So if you want to see some things, drop some coins, and you know what I mean.
Period.
And that's all that is to that. So thank you so much for listening, everybody. You can catch the podcast on Instagram and on Twitter at our respective handles. Also, you can catch me and Miss New Soca Artists on the Rise on our social media. Now you have to change your @ name. You have to change all these things.
No. We're going to keep it.
And when you call your mom and tell her about this news, I want to be on that call. Thank you so much. I need to hear the reaction. If you were my friend, that's the only thing I asked for. Thank you so much. Anyway.
Friendship is relative, so.
Wow.
Fine. I'll reach out to her and tell her the good news. Because that's what friends are for.
Not I'm
Period.
Oh.
Wow.
All right, I got a couple of songs. Don't worry. We gonna get it, ladies. We gonna get it together.
We got this.
There's a snitch in every section. Who would have thought it would have been you?
Ooh.
This is how I support. Okay.
Sometimes you need that snitch.
And
You call it snitching. You call it snitching. I call it accountability. Okay.
I call it promotion, but that's neither here nor
That
there.
That part.
But until next time, y'all. Once again, thanks for listening. And once again, make sure to support these ladies and all their endeavors. And we will check y'all next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
You're not gonna let us out with a tune, with a little sample.
Like a rover, riding like a rover, riding like a rover,
Come on.
riding
Come
like a
on.
rover.
Big Ray.
That's it.
Goodbye. Good and bye.
Say goodbye, Rovie.
Bye, Rovie.